everybody, welcome back to Creations by Simone. Okay guys, day number 3 on our creation celebration 4th of July edition, and I'm going to go over all the items that we're going to use, and we are making a 4th of July cake, guys. Now I know you've probably seen this around. They have it in most of the magazines. They have it on the internet. This has been out a long time, and this is a dessert that I have made my children, my family, since, oh goodness, since they were knee-high, and I wanted to share with you guys as well. All right, these are all the ingredients that we're going to use. We're going to go ahead and get started, and this is going to be great, so I hope you guys are ready to go. All right guys, well, as I always say, let's do this. Okay, let's get started, guys. I'm going to go ahead and just show you all the items that we're going to use for this project. First of all, we need our strawberries. Second of all, we need our blueberries, and all our fruit has been rinsed off. You need a Sara Lee all butter pound cake, and it's best to get 2. I'm making sort of a large cake, so I always get 2 because we have to make layers and we have to cut those, and I'm going to show you how to do that as we go further along. And also, don't forget your Cool Whip. You have to have that. I suggest you get at least a couple of containers of the Cool Whip as well, because you're going to need a lot of it. All right. So guys, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and put everything over here to the side, because we're going to have to cut our pound cake, and I want to just go with you step by step and show you how to do that, because we have to make the cake in layers. All right guys, well, I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Let's do this. All right, we are going to cut our pound cake. First, you just open it up real easy. Now this does come frozen, so this is going to have to thaw out. When I bought this, it was frozen, but it didn't take no more than a few hours to do. So as soon as you buy it, come home, sit it out on the counter, unthawed, and then you can go ahead and start working with it. All right, as you can see, everything's unthawed. And what I'm going to do now, basically, I am just going to pull it out of the container, and it slips out really easy, so you don't have to struggle with it. And we are going to cut this. Now, it has to be cut because the cake that we're making, or should I say the dessert that we're making, is a layered type of dessert. So you have to cut this in half. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut this. As you can see, I'm just going to show you. We're going to cut this just in half. All right guys, so I think it's best to, if I cut it when I stand it up, better than laying it down. So I'm going to go ahead and cut while I have it standing up. All right, and just going to go straight down the center. Cut it completely down the center. Real easy to cut, that you won't have to struggle or anything like that. It doesn't fall apart, so you won't have to worry about that either. All right guys, finished. All right guys, I just finished cutting this, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in the dish. Now let's see, go ahead and just lay that in your dish right there, and then take the other half and lay it right next to it. Okay, fits perfectly. Now the only thing, the cake is not long enough, so what I should have did was maybe cut it in 3s. As you can see, yeah, I still have some pieces, not pieces, but I still have some spaces. All right, so as you can see at the top, at the bottom, I still have some space there. So what I'm gonna have to do is take this piece, one of the pieces out, and I'm gonna have to cut it again in order to fill the gaps. So I'll just cut this in half. I'll place it back in my dish, and then that piece that I cut, I'm gonna break that down and put it in the spaces that I have, so we won't have any empty spaces there. All right, so just cutting this in half again, same thing as we did in the beginning. And it's still relatively thick, you guys. I mean, because the cake is thick anyway, but it's still relatively thick. So even though I've cut this 3 times, I still, the thickness of the cake is still good. All right. falling apart here just a little, but that's okay. It's cool because we're gonna, by the time we put the whipped cream, strawberries, all that on there, it's gonna all mush in together anyway. Okay, so now as you can see, I have the two pieces side by side, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this piece, this extra piece that I have, and I'm gonna fit that into my spaces. So let me go ahead and cut a little of this. And as you can see, I'll cut that again because it's too big. All right, so we cut that one in half. And see how that fits perfectly in there? All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat that step and cut some more, and I'll cut that in half as well. And then I'll just fill all the gaps that I have. Okay, so here we have another one. We would just slide that in. And you know, this cake is really good. Like I said, it doesn't break apart, so you can work with it. It's really basically good for a lot of projects. You probably could make some cake pops with this as well. You know, because if you didn't want to bake the cake, you could probably use this. It really would work out well. All right, so I'm just filling all these empty gaps up here. And then once I do that, then we're gonna go ahead and go to the next step. All right, guys. All right, and as you can see, no spaces here. Okay, guys, well, let's go ahead and go to our next step. All right, now as you can see, I have no spaces, you guys. What I did with that third piece of cake that I had cut, I took that, I broke it down, cut it up, and I filled all the spaces or gaps that I had. So now the cake is just lining the dish. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go to our next step, which is our Cool Whip. I suggest you get at least a tub and a half because this is a 2-layered cake that we have to use the Cool Whip for. So you're gonna need a lot. And I always feel that it's best to have more than enough than not enough. So what we're gonna do is just put the Cool Whip on the cake. And what I'm gonna do is just scoop about maybe 3 or 4 or 5 scoops. And then I have a frosting knife that I absolutely love. It's a smoother, and it smooths things out perfectly when I'm making cakes. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that. All right, guys, let's fast forward through this. All right, I am finished, and as you can see, the Cool Whip has been smoothed out. Now we have to go to our next step, which is adding another layer of cake. So let me get my cake here. All right, there you go, cake. All right, guys. All right, so basically we're gonna just do the same thing that we did when we cut the first cake, but this time we're gonna go in 3s instead of 2s. Okay, guys, I have finished cutting the second cake. Once again, I did cut it in 3s. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on top of our Cool Whip. So, as you can see, turned out good there. Just lay that down on top of the Cool Whip. Just like we did on the bottom, you're just going to lay it side to side, the 2 pieces that you have. All right. And then that third piece, we are going to cut to fit our spaces, our gaps, like we did on our first go around. All right, so I'll just cut a little piece here and I will stick it in my space there in the corner, and then I will cut another piece. We'll put that there. All right, and look at that, that's perfect. I'll cut just a little more here. I have a little gap here. Just squeeze, and this cake is very flexible, this Sara pound cake, so you can just squeeze it and bend it and it doesn't crumble, so that works as well. All right, so what I want to try to do is fill all these gaps since I have this extra cake. Push that in there, and that works out perfectly. All right, this is coming along really good. I'm proud of myself here. All right. All right, let me clean up my mess now. I cannot work in a messy kitchen. Just can't do it, guys. I mean, I drop a crumb and I freak out. So I have to have a clean area to work in. All right, now as you can see, I filled all my gaps. I laid the cake down. Now what we have to do is we have to add our strawberries. Okay, so we're just going to basically put our strawberries on top of this pound cake, and then we're going to add Cool Whip again. All right, guys, well, let's do this. It's strawberry time, guys. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the strawberries to the pound cake. These have already been pre-cut, pre-sliced. I'm just going to layer the pound cake with the strawberries. And we're going to put as much as possible because we want the cake to have as much flavor and taste as possible. So let me go ahead and start this, and then we will go to our next step. Okay, this is a strawberry that wasn't sliced, guys. I thought I had sliced them all, but let me just go ahead and slice this one, and then we're going to go ahead and just start layering them on the cake, okay? All right. Oh, and here's another one too. Okay, I guess I didn't have them all sliced, but they will be sliced by the time I finish this. Okay, is that it? Okay, I think that's it, guys. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I am just going to go ahead and I am going to layer our cake with strawberries. Let's go. Strawberries are completed. Okay, guys, let's go to our next step. What we're going to do now is we are going to put more Cool Whip. We're going to just follow the process that we did earlier. Just put scoops of Cool Whip on top of the strawberries. Once we do that, then we will get our frosting knife and then we will smooth it out. Now, as I said, you're going to need at least 2 tubs of the Cool Whip. Always better to have more than not enough. So let's go ahead and get this put on here, smooth this out, and we will be back. Let's do this. Alright, Cool Whip is finished, and as you can see, it is completely smoothed out. I used my frosting knife. I absolutely love it. It gave it that nice crisp edge. I went over it and it came out really well. Alright, now this pan is really heavy, guys, so I suggest when you do this creation, or should I say dessert, just make sure that you have something sturdy. This is a Pyrex dish and it's a glass dish, and it's working really well for me, so I just wanted to give you that little tip. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and actually start decorating the flag portion of our cake. All right, so what I suggest you do is like visualize it first and then make a little pattern. Now what I do is I'm going to take this knife and just make a little pattern, just not cut deep, but make a little line. That way you'll have a pattern to follow. I did this once before. I think when I first started making it a while back, I did it and I didn't do this, and I had my lines. Strawberries were crooked, my blueberries were crooked, and even though the cake was good, the presentation didn't look that hot. So I suggest you do that. It's real easy. Take a little knife, just go over where you want to lay your items at. It makes it much easier. Okay, all right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our blueberries. Now, as I told you, I already like did a little pre-cut there, so line, so I would have something to follow. So now it just makes it easier because I'm just basically laying the berries on top of the lines. All right, so let's do the corner section first, and then we will come back. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through that, guys. All right, let's do this. Okay, I've already added the blueberries to the corner of the cake. Now what we're going to concentrate on are our strawberries, and those are going to be our stripes. So I've already pre-cut them, but I have to cut them again. So let me just scoot this over. All right, so once again, I made a line earlier so I could lay my strawberries on, so I won't have to worry about that. All right, so let me just show you how we're going to do this. Just take a strawberry Just cut it normally how you would, just slice it up. And then once you slice it up, that piece that you get, you're gonna slice that in the middle as well. Okay, so as you can see here, let me show you, that's half of a slice. Okay, so we're gonna do all of them like that. Now I had already pre-sliced these, but I'm gonna have to actually go back and do that extra slice there so I can have that for the cake. All right, so let me go ahead and do this, guys. Okay, we've already completed the blueberry portion. Now we're going to add our stripes. Now, once again, as I said, it's best to make a pattern. I made a pattern for the top where the blueberries were. Now I have to make a pattern for my stripes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my knife. Let me go ahead and clean this off just a little bit. Okay, there I go with my OCD, guys. Okay, all right, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to make some lines, and we'll go completely across the cake. And this is where I'm going to lay my strawberries at, and this will signify my stripes on the cake. Okay, and make sure you do it evenly, where where there's equal space between, because you don't want the strawberries too close or you don't want them too far. You want to try to recreate a flag as much as possible. I know it's not going to look exactly like a flag. Trust me, I know mine probably won't. But you want to try to get it as best as you can. All right, so now that I've got my lines here, and I actually just messed that little piece up. Why? But I am going to go ahead and just put some frosting on here. Not frosting, should I say Cool Whip. I'll put a little bit more Cool Whip on here, and we will be back to normal. There we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put that line there. And voila. All right, guys, well, I'm going to go ahead and start adding my strawberries. I'm going to do one row first so you can actually see. And then once we do that one row, then we'll go ahead and fast forward. All right, so you're just going to lay them side by side. Okay, just keep going down, and as you can see, and it's straight because I did that little line there. The first time I did this, oh my God, my lines were so crooked. I mean, like I said, the cake was good, but it looked a hot mess. So, but you live and you learn. So, all right, so as you can see, that's perfect. The line is going straight. The strawberries are side by side, and we are looking good, guys. All right, well, let's go ahead and fast forward through this, and when you come back, you will see the finished product. Okay, we have finished our last and final creation in our 4th of July inspired creations. I hope you like this one, guys. I wanted to save the best for last, and I did. This cake I have been making for years for my family, and they absolutely love it. So I just had to share it with you. This is easy, it's simple, and most of all, it's good, and that's the most important thing. Not just good, it's delicious. And I had to share it with you guys. I mean, it's not 4th of July without this cake in my house. So once again, guys, I hope you like this creation. I appreciate all your love and your support that you continue to give to my channel. If you like the creation, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel. You can share this as well. All right, well, I will see you soon with more creations. We have a lot of things coming out. More baking, more creations, more home decor, you name it. If it can be created, Simone wants to do it. All right, guys, I love you. Peace out. Happy 4th.